Hey guys, Dawn from Seasonal Designs. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, kind of get away from the hustle and bustle of the holiday season, although I'm sure that you're all enjoying that right now, as I am. But I was thinking to myself, I am just wondering if you guys would be interested in seeing some of the things that I do during the winter, right? I have other plants, I have other places that I grow, and I thought today we would take a look at some of my different plant collections, where I'm growing them inside, because I have a couple of really kind of cool setups that I thought I would share with you. The other thing we're going to do today is we are going to do an unboxing of some live plants that were sent over to me from Little Prince, and they're going to be added to my plant collection, and I thought it might be fun to open that together. So it's starting to snow. Let's head into the greenhouse where it's a little bit warmer. All right, so let's start first with the unboxing, because these are live plants and you do kind of want to get them out of the box relatively quickly after they've been delivered, and I've had these maybe for an hour now. And I do want to get them unboxed and out of here. Not sure if you're familiar with Little Prince of Plants. Their logo's really cute. It's like this, frog with a little crown on. But they are based out of Oregon. You can order a number of different types of plants online, and then they ship them out to you. They have some of the cutest things, and what they're doing right now is the 12 plants of Princemas. And so each day I get an email and it talks about the plant for that day or the plants for that day. Each of the 12 days they're doing something different, and it's kind of a play on words with the Princemas, but I think it's the cutest thing. But anyways, so let's just get to these plants here. Let's do an unboxing, and when you open up the box, here's what it looks like, right? And then you just take off this piece of paper, and each of these plants is really wrapped individually. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull and get all of these out of here. The other thing that's in here is to the bottom of the box, they always tape like a hot pack to keep your plants warm, and it is still somewhat warm. So, and then your packing information. All right, so now let's get these guys opened up. These are all just packed so nicely, and I feel like this protects the plant more during shipping than like paper. You'll see some of those online stores wrap their plants in paper, and I don't feel like that protects them quite as good as this corrugated kind of cardboard. Then what you want to do is they do put this protected, I don't know what this is called, kind of rubber band everything in nicely, and then this just peels out from around the top of the plant, and what this does is it's really keeping the dirt in so that the plant doesn't lose all of its dirt. I mean, these things came from Oregon, and I just think they look really great. All right, isn't that pretty? All right, Chinese evergreen. Keep the tag in them. All right, next up, let's get the show on the road. So that's how they pack them. So I'm just going to kind of open the rest of these up. This looks like a Sansevieria. And it is Sansevieria moonshine. Okay, so protecting the top there, and then again, they rubber band kind of this protective, it's almost like heavy duty straw. I'm sure there's a name for this, I just don't know what it is, but yeah, it does a really good job at keeping the dirt in, because there really wasn't any dirt in the box or anything else. All right, Sansevieria. We'll do this little guy here. This is the string of turtles. Which I'm excited about. I don't have a string of anything. There's string of hearts and string of fish and string of this and string of that. So it's a plant that I'm actually really excited to get my hands on. There we go. Isn't he cute? Tiny little guy. All right, next up. This is cool. This is a corkscrew albuca called Frizzle Sizzle. All right, this is so cute. All right, let me get this. I want to say this stuff is like coir, C-O-I-R. I could be wrong, but that's what I think it is. Look at this guy. How fun is that? This likes full sun, which is great because I don't have a lot of full sun stuff here in my house. Yeah, that is so cool. All right, next up. This is an alocasia, but which one? This is alocasia dragon scale. Pretty cool leaves. He's gonna look really awesome. Where I'm gonna show you guys where some of this stuff is gonna go here in a little bit. Really pretty. All right, we've got 2 left here. This to me looks like a philodendron, and it is, I think this is Pink Princess. That's what it looks like to me. I'm very excited to get this one. It has these really pretty pink in the leaves. Not sure if you can see that. It's really pretty. I've been kind of wanting one of these, so I'm really excited to get this. I just gotta get this off of here. Oh, this one's wrapped really good. All right, oh, there's the opening. I knew there was an opening somewhere. There he is. So he is vining, so I'm gonna put something in here for him to grow up. All right, last one. I'm not sure what this one is. Just stick this back in. Oh, this looks like this interesting, I think it's like a Hindu rope. Yes, Hindu rope vine. This is sun to part sun. Oh, look at that. What an unusual leaves. It's gonna be a big long rope, so it's just gonna be big long ropes. They're gonna kind of go up and hang down. You could probably put a cool trellis type thing in here that would grow, but it just has kind of unusual leaves. Pretty cool. All right, so let's just quickly chat about like what's going on in the greenhouse. You know, our goal with this greenhouse was really multi-purpose. We want to be able to enjoy having dinner parties in here with friends, having a cup of coffee in here, eating lunch in here, maybe having a meal out here together. And the other thing we wanted to do was to be able to grow out here. And we knew for sure that we would be able to extend our season both on the spring side as well as the fall winter side. But we had hoped that we could get kind of through the end of December out here with plants, but man, we got cold fast. And it's not the daytime that's the problem, it's the evenings, right? So during the day, the sun is shining. If the heat has to go on, it's totally fine. It's not working hard to keep this place warm because the sunshine warms it up. But at night when it's 15 degrees or 12 degrees, and we've already had some of those days, you know, we're burning through a lot of gas to keep this place warm. So we made the decision to move my tropicals in because the last thing I want to do is damage my gardenia or my lemon or some of the tropical plants that I had out here. I mean, they really don't like evenings that are cooler than like 60 ideally. They can tolerate colder temperatures, but they do better if the nighttime temps are warmer. And so we made the decision to move those things in. Now, we're still gonna enjoy this, you know, during the winter, but probably during the day when the sun has warmed this place up, because it is wonderful to have that. And now we also have the supplemental fireplace for heat, so that'll be wonderful. But plants are inside. So what I want to do next is I kind of want to share like what's going on indoors, like what happened to my plants, where are they living now? Because I really kind of have a cool place for my tropicals, and I'm going to be adding those new plants to that area as well. So let's go take a look at that now. Well, here we are in the office where I have quite a few of my plants. Not everything is up here, but I have quite a few of them. And let's start I guess first with my IKEA cabinet, which is where a lot of those little, the plants from the Little Prince went. And let's talk about this cabinet. Very cool cabinet made of glass. And it really helps keep the humidity up. So there's temperature and humidity inside this glass greenhouse, I'm going to call it. And then I also have one of these outside of the greenhouse. The temperature is the same, but look at the humidity difference. So just by having these plants here enclosed in this just increases the humidity, and I don't do anything else. I don't have water sitting in here. In fact, some days I open this up every other day to kind of, get a breeze through there, but it really makes a difference. And so let me open this. I'm going to show you what I did. It comes with glass shelving, and I removed all the glass shelving and I ordered plexiglass shelving with slats throughout each layer of the plexiglass here. And I have it came with 3 shelves is what I ordered. And then I ordered a couple of these corner shelving. So if you wanted to, I could put 2 corner shelving in here, but I only put 1 because some of my plants on the bottom are taller now. But it allows for big flexibility in this greenhouse. So as my plants get bigger, I can adjust these shelves up or down. And it just allows for like a much larger versatility for this. Let's talk briefly about the grow lights I have in here. I have 2 grow lights in here. One right there that is connected to the second one that is underneath this first shelf here. They both have on-off switches, but since they're connected, I can turn it off with a main switch that is actually outside of this cabinet. And this is all retrofitted. And so my husband, Steve, drilled a hole right up there at the top. This light goes out that hole and then out the cabinet and down that corner where it plugs into a socket. And really easy on-off switch, really provides some really good supplemental light for my plants. Now, the plants. This is my Hoya called Hindu Rope from Little Prince. Isn't that such a cool plant? Very unusual. And you can see that I kept everything in the pot that they came in. I just popped it into a prettier container. I never transplant a plant that comes to me right away. I give it time to adjust to its surroundings and its environment. No need to add an additional stressor by popping it into a pretty pot. Leave it in the container it came in, and then I just pop it into a pretty container. All right, right back there, that is a coleus. I took a cutting from a coleus outside the end of October, and he has started, I don't know, we'll see how he does. This is a peperomia called watermelon, and it gets that name because it has these really cool leaves. Love this plant, doing very well. This is a peperomia called Silver Frost that I just had in my collection. And then this is that little string of turtles that I got from Little Prince. Moving down to the second shelf. Right back there is my Pilea. And you can see he's got some babies in there doing really well. Really kind of a unique shaped leaf. The way the leaf is attached to the stem there, can you see that? Just really unique. It's very cool. I really like that plant. It's doing very well in here. And then this one, this beautiful pink philodendron, pink princess, is somewhat rare because of the really cool pink leaves. And I really think that is so pretty. And then this here is actually a cutting from a philodendron that I have that I'll show you from a larger one. And then this is Chinese evergreen, and look at the coloring on the leaves on this one. This is kind of my pretty colored shelf right here with the pinks. You can tell I really like that because I do have a lot with the pinks. And then this is a Calathea rose, which has just gorgeous leaves. You can see that's the latest one. And then there's another one, a brand new one coming right here.
loves humidity, loves to be humid, and to stay somewhat moist, but not wet. And then let's drop down here another shelf. I have my Hoya, which is right here. Some people call this a wax plant. And I've had that one for a little while. She's doing really well in here. This is Alocasia Polly, I believe. And she has just the most unique leaves. And she also loves humidity, which is why she's in here. And then right behind her is a calathea called Rattlesnake. And look at those leaves. In fact, she's getting a little too big probably to be in here, but she does so well in here that, especially in winter, I'm going to leave her in here for the winter. And then right back there is my Rex begonia. All right, so I'm going to close this back up. You can see the humidity dropped while we were doing that from 65 to 53. That's all right. It's good to get some air circulation in there. Sometimes I stick a little fan in there as well. All right, above my cabinet, this is a Pothos Neon. I love the color on this one. Love the bright green leaves, doing very well. And then over here, this is a Tridescentia that actually I dug out of a pot that I had on the front porch this summer. And it just keeps blooming these cute little blooms. Really pretty kind of variegated leaves. Oh yeah, she's got a few blooms. And she's just kind of trails down the side here of my cabinet. Backing up to the right, I have an Alocasia. I can't tell you which one this is, but I need to give her a rotation. As you can tell, she's leaning towards the light. I've had her for a while now. She was in the greenhouse and she has been in many different places. Likes bright, diffused light. Just about every plant in here seems to like bright, diffused light, except for the croton. This likes bright light, really bright light, and can take some direct sun, especially right now. She would love direct sun, but we haven't had any sun for like a week. She also likes high humidity, so I do have a humidifier that I run in here. Actually, many of these plants like humidity. And then over here, my lemon. Oh, you guys, I picked my first lemon from this sweet girl. This is a Meyer lemon tree, and I made a lemon drop martini. It was so good. The Meyer lemon is a little sweeter, I've noticed, than other lemons, but she also is blooming, and the smell in my office is just fantastic right now. Lots of other lemons coming, so they'll all hopefully turn yellow one by one here. Right behind her is my rubber tree. This is a variegated rubber tree. I've had her for like 6 months. She came in a small container just like all the other ones, but she came at a time when I could put her outside, and she has grown like a weed. I have had to up her pot size as well, but look at the leaves. Isn't it pretty? Comes out with that pink, and then this pink here in the leaf, and just the beautiful color and variegation. I really love this plant. I love anything with kind of neat leaves. Maybe you can tell. This is, even though it's all green leaf, it still has a cool shape. This is a philodendron called Florida Green, and she has really big green leaves. She likes to grow up a moss pole, and you can see she's unfurling a new leaf right there. She is doing very well. I've had her since summer. She came most of my plants I've gotten, they've been tiny, but she's doing super well. Around the back here is one that I'm kind of keeping an eye on because I overwatered it. And right now I put her, the whole thing, in an orchid container to let her soil dry out. This is a pothos called Silver something or other. Really neat leaves, but I have to watch not to overwater her. And then this here is also a philodendron. It's a split leaf. So as she gets, the leaves get bigger, they start to have more of these notches in them. This is not a monstera, which I have, and I'll show you next, but this is a philodendron, and she doesn't climb. She's just going to grow big leaves and get bigger and bigger. Funny story about this one. This was actually a really big plant that I had. She was doing horrible. I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I got tired of her and I threw her out in the mulch pile this summer, where to my, like, I just couldn't believe this, but like probably like a month and a half after I threw her out there, I went out and I was like, oh my gosh, is that philodendron throwing out new leaves? Yep, living in my mulch pile. So I picked her out. I took the best roots, I cleaned them off, I stuck them in fresh potting mix, and it had like 2 leaves, and now look at all of them. They're doing really well. Oh, here's another one. This one's even a little more split because it's older. It's more notched out. But isn't she pretty? Oh, and I get close to this lemon. It smells so good. Back here are my succulents, which are blooming again. This one's been blooming like all summer long. It's continuing to bloom. Don't know the variety of these. I'm not as well versed with my succulents. This is also a succulent, which I think is really a neat looking plant. The new growth is green and then it gets dark purple as it grows older. This is my ponytail palm. Kind of misplaced right now since I have Christmas decorations up, but kind of a neat plant. And then this here is the Monstera delicioso I was talking about. And this is a true climber. She climbs. She is attaching to my moss pole. She is going to get the holy leaves, hopefully, eventually. But you can see how not. Yep, here's a hole right here. They also call this the Swiss cheese plant. These guys also have grow lights out here. This is it's a lamp, but it has grow lights in it. I got this from Gardener's Supply. It's a really cool lamp. And then right in the middle, I have a spider plant. And, you know, if you have these brown tips like this in your spider plant, you can trim those off, but it helps to water them with distilled water. It helps to keep their tips from getting so brown. This one is Philodendron Painted Lady, and she has really kind of pretty, unique green leaves, and her stems are just real pretty as she's growing. And she also is going to hopefully attach to my moss pole and grow up that moss pole, but she's doing really well too. This is another small plant. Actually, this is another plant from Little Prince. And this one too was super small. This was just like the little one that I showed you, that pink princess. Exactly the same size. And look at how well she is doing and growing. Right below them, I have another Tradescantia. This is Tradescantia bubblegum. Kind of looks like bubblegum color, doesn't it? Aren't the leaves on this just gorgeous? And then look at the back side of the leaf. Isn't that something? One of my favorite plants. Like shade, but will keep really good coloring if it gets like diffused morning light. This is an amaryllis that once she starts to open up, I'll probably put downstairs. And then over here, I have just a few more up here, my Christmas cactus, and blooms really reliably at Christmas. Another succulent. Again, all my succulents are blooming. Or going to bloom. These all have buds. Every single one of these flowers or these plants here has buds on them. All right, and you remember this one from the unboxing, the Frizzle Sizzle. This is an Albuca, I believe it's called, Albuca spiralis. And it's interesting because this plant's growing time is actually in the winter. That's when it grows more, and it is more dormant in the spring and summer, and it actually grows from a bulb. But look at the leaves. Aren't they so unique? Oh, I just love how it's just so different. This is also another plant that I unboxed from Little Prince. This is Sansevieria Moonshine, and its leaves stay lighter, more pale green color. You can see how pretty they are when they first come up, and then they do get a little bit darker.
All right, well, here we are in my basement. Not a glamorous setup, however, it works very well. So right behind me is my grow area, and I purchased this off of Amazon from Spider Farmer. And I set it up here. I've used it now for 2 years to start my seeds. I start my dahlias here. Anything that I want to start early, I start down here for a period of time before I put them out into my greenhouse. And this system works really well for me. I started my dahlias pretty early last year, and I moved them out to the greenhouse and then planted them when it was warm enough to plant. And I did get blooms starting the end of July, which I feel is pretty early for most dahlias, because I feel like most of the time they're blooming August, September, that sort of thing. So it's really kind of a fun idea to get things started a little earlier to be able to enjoy that. Now, let me open this up. It just unzips, just simply unzips, both on the top and the bottom, and it folds back. And then I have a grow light in here that can be raised up and down. It's on a pulley system, and I'll give you a close-up of that. And you can put it on a timer, which will turn on and off. And then I usually have a table in here, a narrow table that I put in here in spring so that I'm not bending over all the time. But the tomatoes were getting tall and needed a little more space. So let me give you a close-up of this. All right, so here's how this is set up. You can see there's a pole along the top that comes with the setup, right? It's got a hard pole in here. It's a frame. You put this black reflective outer shell on, and then the grow lights hang from here and they come down. There's vents in here, and there's the ability to put a fan in here. This probably needs to angle down a little bit more, but that keeps the air circulating in here. Tomatoes are doing well, but look at, I've got a tomato that's finally starting to ripen. I mean, if you guys remember, I started these like the very end of September. I should have started them earlier, but they were in the greenhouse until just a week ago. And with the cold temperatures we have coming up, I just was like, let's get everything inside. My geraniums are in here for a boost of light. We've had like 2 weeks of like cloudiness, so thought I'd give them a boost of light down here. And then I have a tray, a flat of lettuces, mixed lettuces, that I really need to cut and use because they're ready to go. I mean, this is not glamorous like at all, but it works really well. Well, I hope you guys found that interesting. I am gonna put a link for Little Prince as well as the IKEA cabinet, the grow lights that I have upstairs, as well as the grow system that I have in my basement. I'll put that all in the description of this video. So if you're interested, head over there and there will be links to all of these things. If you know of anybody who's interested in growing houseplants, please share this video with them. And I hope that you guys subscribe to my videos as well, and then you'll never miss whatever crazy idea I come out with. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.